أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Sierra Leone, West Africa, 13 October 1937. That's when a divine sign of the true Khilafat landed on the spiritually barren shores of Freetown in Sierra Leone. Some accounts say that there were perhaps 6 or 7 Ahmadi Muslims in Sierra Leone back then. His task was to spread Islam and Ahmadiyya in that country. And he had emulated himself, his whole lifestyle, according to the wishes of Khalifa al-Masih. So he straight got to work. And as the story goes, he went to a town where he had a hot debate with a non-Ahmadi mullah. After the debate, and these are my thoughts, I believe the mullah must have lost, because he said that this divine sign, this man is a kafir. He declared, "You're not, I don't even consider you a Muslim." It was late at night, so this man started knocking on the doors locally, and he said, "Can I spend a night with you, because there's a huge jungle that I have to cross." Knocked the first door, people shut the door at him. They said, "No, we're not going to let you here because you're a kafir." He knocked another door, same treatment. There's a local person watching, his name is Ali Rogers. Ali Rogers is watching this treatment that this man is being subjected to. He knocks on a third door, people say, "No, you're a kafir." That's when he leaves all of them and goes towards the jungle. Ali Rogers runs behind him. He says, "Stop, stop, you know what, you can come to my home." He says, "No. Now I have a plan. I'm going to go to the jungle." I want you to imagine what happened next in the story. Because I believe you can. I believe I don't have to tell you the rest of the story because of who you are. The word imagine is an interesting word. The advertisers say, you must use imagine in a speech. You must start your speech with imagine. Read any book about how to give a good speech. They'll tell you, "Oh, must use imagine. It's a great word. It gets the audience going." It's so hyped up that I recently was searching on Google. Ted Cruz, when he launched his presidency, he used the word imagine 38 times in a 35-minute speech. We are going to challenge that notion today. We're going to go head on and prove that that's wrong. It's scientifically wrong. It's spiritually wrong. Nothing wrong with imagine, but there's something wrong with the sequence, because Holy Quran gives us a different word. Holy Quran says remember. Quran uses the word remember over 100 times. It barely uses imagine a couple of times. So, what's the problem? There is a problem with that, because when we remember these signs, only then you can imagine. You have to remember. So let me give you, as they say in cricket, a try ball. I'll give you a try, easy question. Don't overanalyze. You have to guess the person. You don't have to imagine. I can guarantee you will guess by the grace of Allah, based on your memory, by remember. So here is how it goes. He lives in London. He never wanted leadership, but it was thrusted upon him as a result of a divine sign, as a result of a prophecy. Millions love him, and he stands against the forces of evil with a banner of peace. Who's the person? I need an answer. Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Khamis. See, you just proved me right. Because you're working through remember. You did not have to imagine, did you? You just remembered. That is how we are going to prove that this Khilafat is divine. Through remember. So stay with me, because, by the way, the skeptics, and I agree with their point, they say, these people who talk of prophecies and divine signs, they have a problem, because Sometimes these signs are made up after the event happened. Sometimes the signs are not specific enough. Sometimes these signs are not published, they're not public. And sometimes these signs that had such high odds of becoming true that, anyone can say that. Anyone can go to a pregnant woman and say, you may have a boy, you have a 50% chance of being true. However, the signs that we are going to discuss today will be all specific. They're all public, published. They were all mentioned before time, and their odds were minuscule. Now stay with me as we prove that point, starting with Holy Quran. Allah Ta'ala says in Quran, this verse was revealed 5 years before the demise of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لِيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. This is a prophecy in Quran. This is a divine sign of Khilafat. Allah says, Allah has promised to those among you who believe and do good works that He will surely make them successors, Khalifa in earth, as He made successors from among those who were before them. This is why we remember in Khilafat. We don't imagine Khilafat like our opponents. We remember. We believe in Khilafat Ahmadiyya because we remember Hazrat Safina narrating that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Khilafat will remain in you for 30 years before it disintegrates into a kingship. 632 AD is when Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam died. In 661, at the dawn of the 30th year, Khilafat Rashida ended. It's miraculous. It's a public prophecy, very specific. We believe in Khilafat because Hazrat Hifza Raziyallahu Ta'ala anha narrates that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Oh Hifza, after me, Umar will be the Khalifa, and after Umar Radiyallahu anhu, Abu Bakr will be Khalifa, and after Abu Bakr, your father, Umar Radiyallahu anhu, will be the Khalifa." Very specific words. We believe in this Khilafat because nearly a dozen years before the event, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told Hazrat Usman, Allah will put a shirt on you and people will try to snatch it away. You never let them remove it. These are prophetic words on the record with specific timelines. We believe in Khilafat because of the famous hadith of Hazrat Huzaifa radiyallahu anhu, where Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam narrates, prophethood will remain among you as long as Allah wills. And then Khilafat on the lines of prophethood shall commence. Khilafat ala minhaj al-nabuwa. Those are the words on that banner right there. And then Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it almost is like a map, like a GPS. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam then says, and then will come the time of a corrupt monarchy, and that will stay with you for as long as Allah wills. And then will be the time for a tyrannical kingship. Isn't that what we saw? Isn't that what the story of Islam is with the Umayyads and the Abbasis and the Turks and the Ottomans and that kingship coming to an end in 1924? What more evidence do you need? This is why I said, remember. We are going to establish the truth by remembering. We are not the imagined crowd. We believe in this Khilafat because of the last words of that same hadith, where Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, after that monarchy, Khilafat will be re-established on the precepts of prophethood. The same exact words are used in the hadith again. Khilafat ala minhaj al-nabuwa. That is why we believe in this divine institution. Not because of anything else, but then Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also prophesied the Masih and Mahdi. See, in order to re-establish Khilafat, you have to bring a prophet first. That again was prophesied publicly by Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And when Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, 3 years before his demise, says, for it is necessary for you to witness the second manifestation, whose appearance is better for you, for it is everlasting and unending till the day of judgment. Hazur is talking about Khilafat, but here is the rub. Ask the same question. I'm going to give you this thought experiment. When you go back home, ask the exact same question to your non-Ahmadi Muslim brothers, to non-Muslims. Ask them. He lives in London. Ask them. He never wanted leadership. It was thrusted upon him as a prophecy. Tell them that millions love him. ask them that he stands against these forces of evil as man of peace, you know what their answer is going to be? Harry Potter. I'm not making it up. Talk to your children. They are going to say Harry Potter. All of those things fit this mythical character from J.K. Rowling's novel that our kids love. See, our kids love, and I have nothing wrong, I have neither read the novels nor watched the movies, because I know enough that when you stop remembering, you start imagining bizarre stuff. There are neuroscience literature is full of such experiments where patients actually who have lost their memory, who cannot remember, first of all, they have difficulty imagining anything. But when you force them to imagine, they imagine bizarre stuff that just does not add up. So this is the issue. When you lose thought of those divine signs, you deteriorate real fast. You go to mythical characters, you go in all kinds of directions. Every generation of Islam and Ahmadiyya has witnessed these signs. See, these words of Quran and Rasulullah are so powerful that today, even though our khulafa are not prophets, but their words become prophetic sometimes because they're standing in the footsteps of Rasulullah, they're standing in the footsteps of Masih Maud. What do I mean by that? Our grandfather's generation witnessed a sign. When 3 months before the creation of Pakistan, there's a newspaper in Delhi that said these Ahmadis are very keen to establish Pakistan. They don't realize once they go to Pakistan, they're going to be treated just like they were treated in Kabul. They're hinting at the martyrdom of Hazrat Sahibzada Abdul Latif. So Hazrat Muslim Maud heard that, and this is what his response was. It's prophetic. When Hazur says, how can a religious group whose foundation is based upon faith, morality and justice make decisions based on self-interest? We believe, here is the prophecy, he believed that despite our being in the right, should we suffer from persecution, God will deal with our oppressors in the same way he dealt with Amanullah of Kabul. He will powerfully display his jealousy for us, and he will always cause us to succeed. That is a prophecy why we believe in this Khilafat. Didn't we see that happen? You can now imagine, because you've remembered enough, and you will get to the truth. Our father's generation watched another sign of divine Khilafat. When 23 years before the event, Hazrat Muslim Maud once again goes on the record and says, मैं ऐसे शख्स को जिसे खुदा खलीफा सालिस बनाएगा अभी से बशारत देता हूँ. I give the glad tidings to the man whom Allah will appoint as the third Khalifa. कि अगर दुनिया की हुकूमतें भी उससे टक्कर लेंगी तो रेजा रेजा हो जाएंगी. That even if the governments of the world will stand in front of him, they'll be annihilated. Isn't that what we witnessed when the dynasty of Bhutto was annihilated through Allah's hand? Isn't that what we saw? What more divine signs do we need to see? But that's the truth of Islam and Ahmadiyya, that every generation will see a sign. So my dear brothers and sisters,
Khilafat Ahmadiyya! Khilafat Ahmadiyya! Nara Takbir!
my generation saw a sign as well. It was in 1980s when Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabi Rahimullah repeatedly warned the tyrannical government of Ziaul Haq to pull back from this divine institution. They didn't. And then the day came. It was a hot, muggy night in June of 1988. I was a teenager. Our Qaid Sahib came and gave me a stack of pamphlets. These were 15-page booklet. It was an open challenge to all the opponents of Islam and Ahmadiyya, extremely public, extremely specific. Our job was to distribute those pamphlets in the middle of the night in our neighborhood. There was no social media. No media would run our story. We wanted to make it public. We wanted to make it written public as we can. So in the middle of the night, I was going door to door, enjoying the thrill of it because I knew there was a sign in the waiting this time. my sign, your sign, my generation's sign. And I'm going to read you the words from the end of that pamphlet where Hazur very specifically says, "Ay Qadir o Tawana Alimul Ghaib wa Shahada Khuda." O Almighty God, who is the knower of the seen and the unseen, हम तेरी अज़मत और तेरे वक़ार और तेरे जलाल की कसम खाकर और तेरी गैरत को उभारते हुए तुझसे इस्तिदा करते हैं. We swear upon your grace, grandeur and omnipotence and submit our request to you while invoking your honor कि हम में से जो भी फरीक इन दुआवी में सच्चा है उस पर दोनों जहान की रहमतें नाजिल फरमा ता दुनिया खुद देख ले कि तू उनके साथ है. That whichever party is truthful in its claim, that you shower your blessings of this world and the hereafter upon them, so the world shall see that you stand by them. These are the pamphlets that a teenager is distributing. Don't tell me to imagine. I don't have to imagine. We don't have to imagine. And then Hazur goes on to say, और ऐ खुदा तेरे नज़दीक हम में से जो फरीक झूठा और मुफ्तरी है. And oh God, I'll complete the Urdu first. उस पर एक साल के अंदर अंदर अपना गज़ब नाज़िल फरमा और उसे ज़िल्लत और नकबत की मार दे कि अपने अज़ाब और कहरी तजल्लियों का निशाना बना. Hazur says, and oh God, within 1 year, descend your wrath upon whichever party among us is the liar and the slanderer. This was June of 1988, August 17. Within 3 months, we saw the sign. When that plane of Ziaul Haq disintegrated into the barren lands of Bahawalpur, Pakistan, nobody knows up until this date what happened. But there was only one word. Listen to this, there's only one name mentioned in that pamphlet, and that is General Muhammad Ziaul Haq. It's been so many years, over a quarter century. I've moved thousands of miles since that day. I've changed nearly 6-7 apartments. I've never let go of that sign, my brothers and sisters. I kept a copy of that pamphlet that day as a teenager. I knew there was a sign here in the hiding. I've never let go of this sign because we are not the people who have to imagine. We are the followers of remember, but now it's your turn, you teenagers here. Now it's your turn, the Harry Potter generation. There's nothing wrong with reading those books, but don't break the sequence. People who can't remember can't imagine. That's the sequence in your hippocampus, in your brain. Now is your turn to watch the same, if not stronger signs of that Khilafat. I'll give you one example. खलीफा राबे says, सारा आलम इस्लाम मिलकर जोर लगा ले मगर एक खलीफा नहीं बना सकते. That's a divine prophecy on the record. Hazur says, the whole Muslim world can try as hard as they can, but they cannot create one khalifa. My dear brothers and sisters, my youth, despite Arab billionaires, despite Iranian ayatollahs, despite Wahhabi kings, you will never see them being able to establish a khalifa.
इस्लाम अहमदिया हजरत खातमुल अंबिया गुलाम अहमद की खिलाफत अहमदिया खिलाफत अहमदिया.
This is not imagination. We are remembering the words of our Khulafat despite Khilafat movements, despite Islamic universities, despite over 40 Muslim governments, they will never be able to create a Khilafat. And despite, as you know, their leaders are dividing an Arab from an Arab, and our Khilafat is uniting a Punjabi with an African. It's uniting a Latino with an American. It's uniting a black with a white. It's your time to see those divine signs, my dear brothers and sisters, but at the same time, I must address my dear non-Ahmadi Muslim family out there. We love you because you love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are joined by that half-blood. Listen to your own scholars. Maulvi Zafar Ali Khan says, Ahrario, कान खोल कर सुन लो, तुम और तुम्हारे लगे बंदे मिर्जा महमूद का मुकाबला क़यामत तक नहीं कर सकते. He says, O Ahrar, listen to me carefully. You and your party will not be able to compete with Mirza Mahmud, Hazrat Muslim Maud Raziallah Ta'ala anhu, up until the day of judgment. Mirza Mahmud ke paas Quran hai. He says, Mirza Mahmud has Quran on his side. Mirza Mahmud के साथ एक ऐसी जमात है जो तन मन धन उसके एक इशारे पर उसके पांव पे निछावर करने को तैयार है. Mirza Mahmud has a movement with him that is willing to sacrifice their life, wealth, time and honor at a blink on his footsteps. Mirza Mahmud के पास मुबल्लिग है. Mirza Mahmud has missionaries. मुख्तलिफ अलूम के माहिर हैं. He has experts on different fields of secular knowledge. दुनिया के हर एक मुल्क में उसने झंडा गाड़ रखा है. He has established his movement in every country of the world. These are the words of the opponents of Islam and Ahmadiyyat, but if that's not enough, I invite you to remember the words of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, my non-Ahmadi Muslim family. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said once again through Hazrat Huzaifa, Huzaifa asks, O Prophet of Allah, after these beautiful days of Islam, will there ever be evil again? It's a long hadith, I'll narrate some parts of it. Rasulullah said, yes, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He says, there will be some people calling at the gates of fire, and whoever will respond to their call will be thrown by them in the fire. Hazrat Huzaifa says, O Allah's Apostle, will you describe them to us? Rasulullah said, they will be from your own people. They will speak your own language, our language. Those are the words. Hazrat Huzaifa said, what do you order me if I get into such a situation? And Rasulullah said, stick to the group of Muslims and their Imam. My dear brothers and sisters, this is the only group of Muslims in 206 countries around the globe today. You're not going to find a larger group of Muslims that is united at the hands of Imam. Listen, remember the words of your own Prophet, our Prophet, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and stop imagining. Leave the deathly hallows of these greedy mullahs. They're only giving you fairy tales and stories. ISIS is literally the goblet of fire. And Khilafat Ahmadiyya is the abode of peace. And by the way, the mathematical odds. Somebody says these prophecies have a chance of coming true. Not at all. If you flip a coin 20 times and you can guess 20 times consecutively that it'll land on head or tail, the odds of that are 1 in a million. I've just narrated 20 signs in front of you. The odds are 1 in a million of something like this coming true. So this is not likely. What's the message for us? You didn't need this speech. You're a believer of Khilafat. You could guess that question right. What's the message for us? The message is simple. Khilafat Ahmadiyya is the spiritual Hogwarts. This is that spiritual school where ordinary humans turn into divine signs. The best divine sign, in my humble opinion, is you, is us, is people. Because that's in your control. You, through your own character, your own hard work, can become a divine sign. And you children, you know that. You're not going to see human beings flying on brooms. You're not getting an acceptance letter from Hogwarts. But you know that if you have to find true love, true friendship, true loyalty, you find it in this Khilafat. What happened to Hazrat Maulvi Nazir Ahmad Ali? The divine sign, that true story I told you at the beginning. By now you know what happened. See, you're the remember crowd. He went to the jungle. Ali Rogers say I followed him. He cleared a small space in that jungle and started saying his salat. He broke down in prayer. He started crying, pouring his heart out. During the prayers, he started having kidney pain. He's in anguish, he's in agony. Ali Rogers says, I just can't see this guy. He's melting in front of me. And as he says his salam, Ali Rogers says, please come to my home. I'm going to take you with me. Hazrat Maulana Nazir Ahmad Ali says, forget about me. Remember, this is the time There are a handful, maybe 6, 7 Ahmadis in that country. He says, forget about me, because as I was doing my salat, Allah showed me in a vision that right where we are sitting right now, there is a school of Jamaat-e-Ahmadiyya, and you are the principal of that school. Ali Raja is not even an Ahmadi at that time. And Zahoor Ahmad Bajwa Sahab, who narrates the story, he asked Ali Rogers, and Ali Rogers started crying. He said, I am an Ahmadi because I'm a divine sign. My being an Ahmadi is a proof of the divine signs of these Khulafa. That is how he came into Islam and Ahmadiyyat. And today, in that same land of Sierra Leone, there are over 500,000 Ahmadi Muslims. There are over 500 Ahmadi mosques.
Islam Ahmadiyya, Khilafat Ahmadiyya, Khilafat Ahmadiyya, Nara Takbir.
That same spiritually barren Sierra Leone now hosts over 500 Ahmadi Muslim mosques. The president of Sierra Leone comes to the Jalsa Salana of Masih Maud ﷺ in Sierra Leone. That is the power of this divine Khilafat. If you follow this, you can become rich, you can win a Nobel Prize. I've got no problem with that. But if you want to become a divine sign, you want acceptance of prayers, there is no other institution, there is no other professor who can teach you that. This is where you get that. Now is your choice. Is that what you want? Do you want to become a divine sign? Because I'm not making it up, by the way. In Tazkira, Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ narrates an ilham. Yansuruka rijalun nuhi alayhim minas sama. Allah Ta'ala revealed once again, very public, 100 years before this day, published. The odds were small, but Allah says, such people would help you upon whom we shall send heavenly revelations. Maulana Nazir Ahmad Ali was yet another divine sign, and so could be you. But there is a problem. There is a price to be paid. See, even children stand in line all day to get that new Harry Potter book. Even those who are lost in imaginations, they're paying a price at the hands of these terrorist organizations. You can't get it for free. Just does not make sense. So what is the price? I'll humbly submit, in a Jamaat that is now over millions, over 200 countries, it's sometimes possible to have a difference of understanding. If you have a different level of understanding with what Hazrat Khalifatul Masih has said, never articulate that. Internalize that. Pray on it. Resolve it internally. Never become a vocal critic of this Khilafat or anything this Khalifa says. I'm humbly submitting because our forefathers have told us, and you can remember, there's a challenge. Can you think of a divine sign in your mind right now? Can you think of an Ahmadi who had this level of communion with Allah and he was a vocal critic of Khilafat? My challenge is you'll never find that. It doesn't work that way. So one simple, humble request. If something is difficult, whether it's an issue of parda or if it's an issue of chanda, whether it's an issue of Facebook or whether it's an issue of homosexuality, if you're having difficulty understanding, internalize it, pray on it, melt your soul, never be a vocal critic. And this is the price in the words of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Awwal. And I'll close with that. Chahiye ki tumhari halat अपने इमाम के हाथ में ऐसी हो जैसी मैयत गुसाल के हाथ में होती है. What is needed is that your condition in the hands of your imam should be similar to a dead body in the hands of the person who gives it the last bathing. तुम्हारे तमाम इरादे और ख्वाहिशें मुर्दा हो. All your wishes and plans should be dead. और तुम अपने आप को इमाम के साथ ऐसे वाबस्ता करो जैसे गाड़ियां इंजन के साथ. And you attach yourself with the imam in a way as if the train cars connect themselves with the engine. और फिर हर रोज देखो कि जुल्मत से निकलते हो या नहीं. Khalifatul Masih al-Awwal radiyallahu anhu says, and then see whether you emerge from this darkness or not on May 19th,
1955, Hazrat Maulana Nazir Ahmad Ali, a divine sign of true Khilafat, passed away, and he was buried in Sierra Leone among his own people. Let's pray that on August 14th, 2015, right here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Allah Ta'ala grants the thousands of us the good fortune to turn into living divine signs of this true Khilafat.